All right, so let's talk about the first half, second half. What happened coming out in the third quarter that a little slow, 15 points. Liberty gets 21 points. What happened in that quarter?
Well, they changed and played a lot more zone in that quarter, and we just got stagnant. We stopped our movement. We stopped attacking off the bounce and just really started passing around the perimeter and taking a lot of perimeter shots at the end of the shot clock. So, that's something we'll go back to the film and we'll show, we'll have an awareness about, and we'll make adjustments for.
What about your defensive game plan? You cannot make a mistake against this Liberty team. As soon as you do some help defense, Vandersloot's wide open in the wing. As soon as you give up an offensive board, somebody gets a kick out there open for a three-pointer. What are your principles trying to defend this team of all-stars?
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, because they have, those five starters. They can score at all five positions. They have quite capable players coming off the bench as well. And, we really have to play the percentages. We have to force them into tough twos. When they get to the free throw line and when they knock shots down from the three-point line, I think they average 3 or 11 threes a game. They're just so tough. And so we really have to stay disciplined in which shots we're willing to give up and who we're willing to give them up to. And then we have to live with that. And I felt like they got out in transition a little bit more than we would have liked, and that allowed them to knock down some shots from distance and everybody get confident.
Talking to the head coach of the Connecticut Sun, Stephanie White, when you're holding down like a Brianna Stewart, Ionescu comes through with 21 points. It's got to be difficult because it's not even a three-headed monster. Like you said, it's like a five-headed monster. I thought that the Sun played great defense last night.
Yeah, we had our moments, and you have to be able to score with a team like this too. And that third quarter for us, where we were a little stagnant, hurt us. There's no doubt about it. But for us, a team like New York, you've got to really limit the amount of 3-point shots that they get. They're going to try to keep you spread. They run a lot of stuff, and you're right. Like as soon as you make a mistake, they make you pay. And we answered. A lot of runs, but we weren't able to quite get it done, and New York did what they were supposed to do. And we did what we were supposed to do, go split that series. Now we get to come home.
That's right. 1-1 is the series.
Yep.
WNBA semifinals, the fifth straight time the CT Sun have been here. Game 3 will be at 7:30 on Friday. Game 4, 3 o'clock on Sunday. Come for the MVP matchup. I think it was great on defense last night, not really offensively. Brianna Stewart versus Alyssa Thomas. I'm upset about the MVP and how it got selected, but that it is what it is. But I think the matchup may be Tiffany Hayes versus Sabrina. There was some trash talk last night, and the game that Tiffany had definitely backed it up. What's going on there with that duel?
Yeah, it's nice to see Tiff Hayes, moving well. She really struggled in terms of just injury in the first series against Minnesota. Now she's back to moving really well. She's a competitor, and she's a tough competitor, and she gets downhill, and she's matched up on Sabrina on the defensive end a lot of times as well. And so there's some competitive fire, no doubt, going back and forth. And for us, with Tip, with Beck, with Natisha Heidemann, with Ty Harris, like our guard play has got to be big. We got to step up. We got to knock down shots. For Sabrina, we got to try to make it as tough as possible. Giving her 10 free throws, we can't do that. We've got to continue to force her to hit jump shots off the move, keep her off the free throw line.
When you say you go back and you look at film, what are some of the things that you'll look at with the Liberty and try to stop them in Game 3?
Yeah, just the easy ones that they got, whether it was offensive rebound, tip outs, open threes, the open threes that they got in transition off of our turnovers. When sometimes we over-helped and over-rotated, and it wasn't necessary. So some of those things for us, particularly on the defensive end of the floor, they're such a good team. There are some things that we're going to give up, and we just have to stay disciplined to what we're willing to give up.
I was wondering if you're going to have much of a voice when you're doing this interview, just seeing you last night and during timeouts. It was trying to cover everything all times and trying to say 5 things at once to your team to get them in the right position. Then I learned something else over the broadcast last night. Being a mom and being a coach in the WNBA is very difficult, and you're trying to balance those two right now. Your son's birthday's today.
Son's birthday's today, yes, my oldest, Landon, he turns 12. This is actually the first birthday of his that I missed, so it is a little bit heartbreaking for me. I'm sure that he's fine, but it's a little different for me. But, and that's how I get my voice, going. And 4 boys at home, and I'm always having to rile them together as well. So I built up that endurance.
I don't know. I have to try to fix up your son with my daughter. My daughter's 12. She's quite a tennis player. So
what an athlete.
And she's going to be tall, too. So
oh, nice.
I don't know. Talk about the Liberty, too, and even the Vegas Aces. I mean, they built some super teams. But the Connecticut Sun, I mean, even losing Jacquel Jones, rebounded. You did a great job. You were WNBA Coach of the Year. Congratulations on that. Didn't seem to stop you. What was your message when you came in at the beginning of the season with the Connecticut Sun?
Well, it doesn't take a lot because our locker room's a confident bunch. It starts with Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. They've been here for a long time. They've been in the league for a long time. They understand what it takes. There's a toughness, a competitive edge, a competitive spirit, about this group. There's a chip on their shoulder about being counted out. There's no doubt about it. I think the biggest thing and the biggest message for us was like, hey, we got to control what we can control. We can't control anything that's being said about super teams, about where we rank, about expectations, about any of that. We're going to come in every day. We're going to work together. We're going to stay together. We're going to play together. And we're going to bring our brand of toughness, competitive spirit, resilience, and we're going to come out and we're going to win ball games, and certainly I think our team was battle tested when we lost Brianna Jones as well, and just stepped up to the challenge and continue to. We know what the narrative is, and we're not afraid of that. But there's no pressure on us. The pressure's on New York. The pressure's on Vegas. They're the ones who are expected to be there. So we've just got to go out. We got to play free. We got to compete every possession. We've got to minimize mistakes. We've got to maximize our opportunities and come out and hopefully we'll get great crowds. I have no doubt over the weekend and give New York a couple of tough games and potentially come away with an opportunity to go to the finals.
Again, 7:30 Game 3. That's Friday night. 3 o'clock Game 4. That's Sunday afternoon. Get tickets today because this might sell out there at the Mohegan Sun. Like Coach says, some of the best crowds all season long. Really, since this franchise has started, it's been some of the best crowds at Mohegan Sun. Talk about Alyssa and her leadership. And just you have so many different pieces that come in and off the bench. We love watching Olivia Nelson-Ododo. I said today I think she's playing the best basketball of her career. Mm-hmm. Not only her, the efforts that you get from Harrison Hayes and also Dejanay Carrington from time to time, but Alyssa, it jumps off the screen, jumps out of the court when you watch her play. Not only does she have a command of where people are supposed to be, but she just has an attitude or an air about her that she's someone you don't want to disappoint.
Right, no doubt. I mean, she's got an edge about her. She walks the walk. She's the ultimate competitor. She's the hardest worker. She gives everything that she has on every play, every time she's on the floor. And when you're a teammate, you want to do the same. You want to rise to that competitive nature. You don't want to let her down. So that in addition to just her basketball IQ and her natural instincts, I mean, she's such a unique talent. And you think about the year that she's had and the numbers that she's put up collectively, all while doing, what she does on the defensive end of the floor as well. And, she really is the glue, the heart and soul of our team. And she's the reason that this group, throughout her entire career in Connecticut has always seemed to, from an outside perspective, overachieve, right? Because of the way that she competes and because of the way that she leads and because of, just her chip on her shoulder, and it's no different this year.
Liberty come to Connecticut, 7:30 at the Mohegan Arena on Friday night, and then again 3 o'clock on Sunday. So a heavy weekend, a WNBA Connecticut Sun basketball. Coach White, thank you so much for your time, and good luck on Friday night.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.